Hey, so in this video I'll be doing what I did for the last couple weeks now with just prediction Easter eggs and predictions. There hasn't been the what for, and this one is for season 4 episode 5, and there wasn't as many Easter eggs or references this episode, but right at the top of the episode, pretty much, we see Lucy and her husband Joseph in an abandoned house, and but more specifically in a basement, and it actually holds quite a lot of Easter eggs for what people were hoping, and pretty much I was assuming this whole entire time that there was other ghostwriters before Robbie Reyes, because like had been hints like saying folklore or urban legend for ghostwriter, which to me that wouldn't sound right if it was only like a year of an urban legend, because I would assume that it would have been years and years and years and years and years that there would be at least an urban legend the for Ghost Rider himself. But he Joseph and Lucy were actually in Johnny Blaze's house, and we know this because there was a big poster in the background that they showed, and it was actually for Quentin Carnival. And in the comics, he actually Johnny Blaze actually worked there, but that poster itself is actually an Easter egg in itself, where it was actually it was designed as Ghost Rider Ghost Rider Volume 2 Episode 69. I don't know what that comics uh, actually is about, other than it's has Ghost Rider in it, but that design on the poster is actually the design of that comic book. So, but yeah, we also saw his chains, his bike, his helmet, his jacket. So that is most like 100% Johnny Blaze's house. Whether we see him or not, that's still to be seen, because I don't think they've had any confirmation. They could probably be hiding it, but he does end up uh, coming into contact with Robbie Reyes once or twice in his comic run. So it's possible he shows up, but I don't know if he will. But yeah, it would be cool. Uh, some people wouldn't recognize him. I kind of did, but there was a cameo from Joseph Stephanopoulos. He's actually one of the ABC Good Morning America co-anchors, so it's nice that they're trying to ground this in the real world, even though it's really not, because like the superheroes and whatnot, and so but they're trying to ground it in real life by bringing in an actual person playing their actual selves. Uh, then we had like little nods to different properties, like they have Lucy and the whole Peanuts gang, and if you don't know who they are, it's actually from the Charlie Brown comics and everything like that. So if you didn't know what that was, that's who they are. It's the Charlie Brown people. So yeah, then we had Ghost Busted. That's pretty obvious what that actually is. It's Ghost Ghostbusters, but it's good time good time now to actually talk about it, since they cast Sigourney Weaver in the Defenders. I was hoping that she's some kind of like demon or something that they could make a reference to Ghostbusters, since she was in the movies Ghostbusters in the originals. So it would be nice that they did a little nod to her past as an actress. So I'm not sure if they would or not. This one actually flew over my head, because even though I knew it was a reference to something, I had no idea what it was. Matt said Clown Posse, and I had no idea who that was, what they were, so I had to look it up. And Clown Posse is actually a band that just has their face painted as clowns. So yeah. Uh, then we near the end of the episode, or ish, just when Robbie is actually going to confront one of the gang members that shot down him and his brother. But we see him reading a book called Pet Cemetery, and this could possibly be a little nod to Robbie Reyes' origin story, both in the comics and the show ish, because uh, in the book there's a cat that gets hit by a car, then is resurrected by an outside force, and is then turned into a murderous monster. So that's similar to what Robbie Ray like he could happen because in the comics he does die and then is resurrected. I'm not sure if they're gonna do it here because he says he made a deal with the devil. So I would have a hard time believing that he made a deal with the devil after him already being dead. It could possibly happen, but yeah, at least that's what happens in the comics. He was resurrected by a demon and then is turned into the Ghost Rider that starts killing people. Then, if you've been a longtime fan of the show, you probably recognize these items. We've had the return of the lie detector test, which was only appeared in the first season, episode 19, I think it was. And there they actually had little foreshadowings of little events that were going to happen later on in the season or series in general. But here they didn't do any of that type of thing, but they did a little nod to what Simmons went through in season 2, where she went to undercover at Hydra and all that kind of stuff. So at least they did like a little nod to that without actually giving away anything that's going to happen in the future. And then we had the energy shield return that Coulson had. It's actually from the comics. Captain America actually uses it, which is nice that they had the biggest fanboy of Captain America get his own shield from season 3. So, but I'm hoping down the line, they actually have Coulson able to actually throw the shield just like you can throw it in the comics. So yeah, and I don't know if this was intentional or not, but they did like a little probably nod to Daredevil season 2, where because both Punisher and Daredevil are anti-heroes that start killing bad people, and they both have prison scenes, and they start standing up at facing the camera. So it's looked similar to what Ghost Rider scene looked similar to what Punisher scene was in Daredevil season 2. It could have been a nod or not, but yeah. So for predictions, they could go either way for this. They said that there was a hit on Robbie Reyes or the core in general. So, but it could have been that the gun down was actually just meant to be actually for Eli Morrow, because it was his car, and that's probably my prediction for it. But there's a lot of people that are saying that it could have been Eli putting the hit on Robbie Reyes' car. It's like Robbie Reyes in the car, because Eli is actually a very evil character in the comics, and he is responsible for Gabe turning into going into a wheelchair. So it's possible that they're adapting that type of scenario and mixing the two of Robbie Reyes' origin story and Gabe being into a wheelchair into one, and Eli Morrow is actually responsible for both of them technically, in both in the comics and both Gabe in a wheelchair. So it could go either way, but I'm assuming it was just a random hit that was meant for Eli, because I want to see Eli be good up until what happens with the Darkhold, because it seems like the Darkhold has like an actual hold on them, that they get obsessed and turn evil once they start reading it, looking through the book and reading it. Just like Lucy and Joseph turned pretty much evil because of the Darkhold book, which, when at the end of the episode we see Eli pretty much turn obsessive. So I want to see him to be good until then. And people are saying that Jeffrey Mace is actually an evil director now and stuff like that. No, he's really not. He's being blackmailed to do things. It's not. He's not evil. He's doing that about doing what he has to do. But I'm hoping that at least somewhere down the line, he somehow gets like a hint to Coulson and the other Shield agents, like a little hint saying that I've been blackmailed, but not actually outright say it, because I don't know how much of a in the senator has in Shield, because she seems to know a lot of things, which is kind of odd. So I'm assuming she has some other people inside Shield, but she needed the director to actually get more power of the situation that she's trying to control. So yeah, and that's about it I can think of. So comment down below what you thought of this episode, and what predictions, and what I may have missed for Easter eggs and references. See ya.